Hello neighbor, I'm Robert Burns and it's such a delight to be back with you again. And yes, it's that time of year again. The time of year where we go through the annual, things are such a mess. We've got to have mid-year budget because, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You know, and it really does get nauseating and go through this year in and year out. But as you saw from the headline, yesterday at the Louisiana Auctioneers Licensing Board meeting, we had a gentleman, a member, Vice Chairman James Sims, who literally had a conniption fit with a very hostile reaction entailing, giving a little brief background, the LALB has stockpiled a massive amount of cash relative to its size. The board has approximately $65,000 a year in annual operating expenses. Nevertheless, it's run a profit over the last 8 years and has now amassed a cash hoard of approximately $300,000. Reverend Freddie Lee Phillips, the Vice President of LAPA, has made numerous attempts to try to give the in-state licensees a break, and he did so once again this year. We're going to give you a link to the historical videos of him doing this. It's been year in and year out. You will see him be cursed at. You will see attempts to block his camera. They're very embarrassing, but the videos are what they are. I'm going to give you a link to those pages. But at any rate, I said during this past meeting, you're going to see the video, that it's very obvious the auctioneers do not want the money. And I said, that being the case, not that John Bell Edwards is going to listen to anything that I have to say, but I am going to propose to him, and certainly this email will be going to the governor's office. Certainly they know I have sent them these emails in the past and will continue to do so. But it would be my recommendation, since the sentiment is that the auctioneers do not want this money returned to them, it is a massive cash hoard, and so it would be my recommendation that Governor Edwards, I don't want to hear the word tax when there's all this money laying around that he can go avail himself of. Now, I realize that Bobby Jindal was an unpopular governor. Certainly he was not popular with me, but one thing is known: he would raid funds to avoid raising taxes. Governor Edwards, this is one time you need to take a page from the Bobby Jindal playbook. There is likely tons of money sitting around in these boards and commissions that may have stockpiled excess cash the same way this LALB has, and you need to go grab that money, not just from this board, but from any other one, in order to not resort to this taxes, because we are getting fed up about just up and saying, we got to do more taxes. Also getting fed up of what I think Scott McKay with the hayride is appropriately characterized as emotional terrorism. You know, and I have no doubt that in this upcoming session where everybody, we're in such a mess, you know, I'm sure we're going to see Jean Paul. He's a young man, precious young child. He will have the black glasses. They bring him in every single year when there's this kind of a budget crisis. And I'm going to tell you something. In my opinion, that is exploitative. There is no one in this state who is going to support cutting funding for that sort of thing. Absolutely not. But here's what they do. They utilize them. They use them like pawns on a chessboard to fund things such as Kevin Boyd of the Hayride itemized out. We're going to give you a direct link. Mr. Boyd did an outstanding job of itemizing the pork barrel projects that were approved in our last budget. And I want to just make one concluding remark, and then we're going to take you on to the hostile reaction of Mr. Sims. The first time I went into Walmart after John Bell Edwards' and I'm going to give him the credit for it, that penny increase in the sales tax, and I hope they've got the date on this receipt. Should be on here. Yeah, 4/17. This was my first trip into Walmart. 4/17. Should be see the date on there. Hopefully, yeah, there we are. That was my first trip into Walmart after the new tax went into effect. Now, you know, outside of Walmart at Christmas time, you'll see the Salvation Army folks, and they're ringing, you know, the little bell, you know, and that's for you to make a voluntary contribution. Well, I have highlighted the sales tax that I paid for this. Now, when I go to Walmart, I buy a lot, and it's, I don't know, about a $330 bill. I have spent as much as $500 in Walmart just going in for, I try to space out my trips because it's something I do not look forward to. But you can see the 10% tax on there, and I believe the number is, what, $23.45. So that means I paid an extra $2.30, give or take, strictly as a result of that penny increase. So what I want you to envision is that the clerk behind the Walmart is not ringing a little bell, sounding the alarm that if you want this, this is what you're going to pay. Now, what is that money going to be used for? Well, let's see. We have Jay Darden's massive pay package that also results in a $1,619,000 increase in the unfunded accrued liability. We've got Mike Edmondson's 32% pay raise. We've got Ms. Robinson, the Revenue Secretary's elevated salary. We've got Sean Wilson's elevated salary. And I want to emphasize, Governor John Bell Honor Code Edwards said Bobby Jindal's staff, executive cabinet level, was, and I quote, exorbitant, and he would never pay his folk that much. Well, I wouldn't pay them that much. He's paying them way more. At a time when oil field service workers are losing their jobs left and right, he's granting these high-paying state jobs, putting out this pork barrel that Kevin Boyd so eloquently itemized out, and we're going to give you the link for. And they just go to the straight, easiest path. As John Kennedy has said, anybody, we can get a wino under the street to go in and serve as governor or legislator, say, raise the tax. Doesn't take any mental genius, doesn't take any work either. People are fed up with it. And so I want you to envision that the next time you go in Walmart or wherever your favorite, place where you buy your mainstays of life, envision the light above that cashier and it's flashing. You're going to pay additional money to Mike Edmondson, and take a look at the sales tax figure. And just think in your mind, I just paid this to Jay Darden. I just paid this to Mike Edmondson. You can divide it up however you want, but it's exorbitance, all right? Because John Bell Edwards will not make the hard choices. And we're going to have an upcoming special session. The Republican legislators need to grow some backbone, just say no, and they need to go in and take a page from Bobby Jindal's playbook and go grab any excess money that's laying in these boards and commissions. With that, I'm going to conclude you with a very hostile reaction of Louisiana Auctioneer Licensing Board member James Sims when I suggested such just yesterday. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to bringing you another Sound Off feature in the very near future. Thank you so much. It is also supposed to be the case that this board is not supposed to run a profit. You put that word in quotes. Nevertheless, it has done so for 8 years, and it's ran pretty significant profits, which is how this board has accumulated the funds that it does. I don't know why there's such strong opposition to this. I just know there is every single time we come in. I would hope it's not that he is the one who has been proposing it. Nevertheless, given what I'm seeing negative sentiment, if it fails again, well, actually, I've made up my mind based on what I've heard here today. Governor Edwards would, I'm sure, not take advice from me. There's already been one legislator who went in and attempted to grab the surplus that this board has. The state has current mid-year budget cuts. If you don't want to return it to the auctioneers, fine. I don't want to be taxed, and I know that's where we're coming from this governor that we've got. We're going to have more taxes and a special assessment. So I'm going to recommend to him that he grab the surplus.
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you threatening this board, Mr. Burns?
I'm going to.
I'm threatening this board.
I am a consumer. I have the right.
No, you're not. Are you threatening this board?
I would note the elevated tone.
I don't care what. I'm not going to apply for a tone of voice. But I'm going to tell you right now, I just took that as a threat.
That's fine. I'm going to recommend
don't
that.
Threaten me, Mr. Burns.
I can do what I want. I didn't physically threaten you in any way, and I have a right to say it. The fiscal affairs of this board I have a right to speak on. I find it interesting you had such a hostile reaction to it. Yeah. I mean, it's been year after year.
I still have time to return.
So I am going to make that recommendation, Mr. Sims. Well, now I see you toning it down a little, huh? Oh, really? Well, that makes two of us.